Hi, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at some polling in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. But real quick, there's this news that broke yesterday about no labels. They've announced they're not actually really going to do anything in this election. At this point, it doesn't seem like a surprise. They were really unable to get that top-tier candidate they were seeking. The list really goes on and on. Larry Hogan, Joe Manchin, Chris Christie, none of them wanted to be a part of this movement. Now, this is going to be a sigh of relief for the Democrats. It looked like this group was going to take some votes away from Biden, especially if they had a Democrat or a former Democrat on the top of the ticket. The group had all kinds of accusations levied against them, especially from the Democratic establishment. They wanted to expose their funding and their backers because there were some concerns behind the scenes that this group is just going to be out there to peel off enough voters from Biden to give Trump the White House. Who knows what their real motives are? But one thing that's clear is there is an appetite for a third-party candidate in this upcoming election. There's a lot of voters that don't really want Biden or Trump. A bunch of them are probably going to vote for one or the other. Some of them might go third party, and a bunch are just going to sit home. So in the abstract, it seems like a lot of people do support a third party effort. However, if it looks like that party is unable to win, and if they might take away more from their preferred candidate, then all of a sudden they turn against that same third party. So it's a little weird. A lot of people are tired of the same two-party duopoly. Yet when a third party does try to break through, whether it's No Labels, the Forward Party, the Libertarians, the Green Party, or any of the independent candidates, you really do get to see how strong that two-party duopoly is. So No Labels is done. It's not a surprise, but Democrats going to be happy about that. Now let's get on to some polling. And this came out just after I finished my 2024 election based on the polling, and it's for Pennsylvania. It's from Franklin and Marshall College. And the summary is right here. This one has a massive lead for Joe Biden. He's at 48%. Trump is all the way down at 38%. It's a 10-point margin and far different than almost all the other polls we've seen. Now, if you throw in third parties, then it becomes a 2-point lead where Biden is at 42%, Trump is at 40%. Kennedy at that point gets 9%, Jill Stein is at 3%. So is this poll accurate? Who knows? In their sample size, they did poll 390 Democrats, 356 Republicans, and 124 independents. So keep in mind the margin of error, and they did poll a whole other bunch of stuff in the state of Pennsylvania. All the links will be down below in the description. But if we just focus on the presidential election, here's that same data, but they compare it to their previous poll back in February. That one, Biden was up 1 point, 43 to 42. So in just 2 months, did Biden go up 5 points while Trump went down 4? I don't know, anything is possible, but comparing it to the other polling, this does seem like an outlier. If you add in the third parties, back in February, Biden was still at 42, Trump was at 37, and Kennedy went from 8 to 9% in this poll. So it's kind of a weird result, but based on these results, it seems like more of Kennedy's support is coming from Biden. Now, we could also look a little bit more into this pollster, Franklin and Marshall College. Now, a couple of months ago, 538 scrapped their individual pollster ratings. That also showed all their historical polls. So I think they completely blew it by removing those pages. However, if we use the Wayback Machine, we can still take a look at Franklin and Marshall College. They've got a B/C rating. And if we scroll down just a bit, these blue dots on the left and the red dots on the right show you how far off the individual polls were in favor of the Democrats or the Republicans. And for the most part, it's close, maybe a little bit more biased toward the Democrats. Now, if we look at their individual polls, their most recent was back in 2020. There for president, they had Biden up 6 points where he won by 1.2. That's a 4.8% overestimation for Biden. They also polled the 7th congressional district. There they had Susan Wild up 7.2. She won by 3.7. That's another overestimation of 3.5 points. Back in the governor's race in 2018, they overestimated Tom Wolf's support by 8.9. In the Senate, they were closer. They only overestimated Bob Casey by 1.9. And if we go back to 2016, this is where they completely went off the rails. In that Senate election, they had Katie McGinty up 12 points, but Pat Toomey actually won by 1.4. That's a 13.4% overestimation of the Democrats. And for president, they had Hillary Clinton winning the state by 11. Trump got it by 0.7. That's another double-digit underestimation of support for the Republican. So you never know what's going to happen in the future, but if you look back at their track record, you can make your own conclusions as to how accurate you think they are. While we're at it, let's take a look at the overall polling aggregate for Pennsylvania. If we get on Real Clear Politics, right now it's pretty much dead even, but because of that 10-point Biden poll, Biden is now in the lead by 0.1. All the other polls in this average show the race tied or Trump with a lead. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just trying to put this poll into perspective with the other polls. My own comment is it's possible for Biden to be leading in the state. A 2 or 3 point lead would probably seem a lot more believable, but maybe that's just me. If we look at the 5-way race, there Trump is up by 2.2. It's important to note that in a 2-way race, nobody's hitting 50%, and in the 5-way race, you'd be lucky to to get in the low 40s. So this is a highly important state. It has a coveted 20 electoral votes. Previously, we've seen the polling here underestimate Trump by a wide margin. Maybe that happens again. Maybe this time they got it right. Either way, that's a quick look at this Pennsylvania poll. Now let's move on to New Jersey. We've got a poll out the other day from Emerson, and we don't often get statewide polling out of New Jersey, so let's take a look at it. First, they cover the U.S. Senate election, and right now it kind of looks like it's a one-person race for the Democratic nomination after Tammy Murphy decided to drop out. Andy Kim is at 51%, 39% undecided. And how about Bob Menendez? Is he actually going to run as an independent? Well, if he did in the general election, it looks like he would pull in 9%, 49% go to the Democrat, and 42% go to the Republican. So I don't see a path forward here for Menendez at all. If anything, he might spoil it a little bit for Andy Kim. Menendez is sitting at a 14% approval rating. Their other senator, Cory Booker, is at 41, 34 disapprove. Even with Democrats, Menendez is only at 22% approval. How about Joe Biden? He's at a 40% approval, 47 disapprove. And what about the head-to-head Biden-Trump matchup in the Garden State? Well, here it is. We've got Biden getting 46%, Trump getting 39, 15% undecided. If you add in the third-party candidates, then Biden goes down 5 points to 41, Trump goes down 3 points to 36, RFK gets 8%, Cornel West and Jill Stein pull in 1, still 14% undecided. And last time, Biden carried the state by 16 points, so this would be a dramatic reduction if it panned out anything close to this. And there's a lot more on here, but I think this is interesting and local to New Jersey. 62% think the current ballot design in New Jersey that allows candidates endorsed by leaders of local parties to be listed in a prominent position in a single column or row, referred to as the line, is fair, while 38% think it's not fair. I'm interested to know what more people think about that, but it looks like that's actually approved of in the state. So there's other data here. You could take a look at it if you'd like. We've got the polling methodology, the sample size, the margin of error down below. You can also click at the very bottom to take a look at the detailed crosstabs, and those are some notable results. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about any of these stories? How about no labels dropping out? What about the massive lead for Biden in Pennsylvania? And how about New Jersey actually looking slightly more competitive for president? Do you buy these polls? Do you not buy them? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.